Welcome back to the Monday Mindset, everybody. I'm Lawrence Rosenberg, and I am so pumped to be with you and filling you guys with power and energy and enthusiasm and excitement at what we're going to accomplish this week because there's so much we can do. This is April. April is on. It's game on right now. And you've got to be focused. You got to be focused on your goals, on your desires, on what it is you want out of life. Because if you take your cues from the media and all the prognosticators out there about what your expectations should be, well, hell, everyone should just be thanking God that we're all alive right now and that, if we could just make it out of this, then that's enough. I'm sorry. I'm grateful for so many things in my life. I'm grateful for my family. I'm grateful for all the things that I have. But I'll tell you this, I'm also grateful for the fact that my mind is attuned to the great things to come. And that it's not just about surviving, it's about thriving. And I want to be grateful for all of the bounty that's going to come into my life and your lives if you focus, if you concentrate, and if you steer yourself in the right direction. Because you cannot allow yourself to be dragged down by mediocrity, by the meanderers and the stragglers and the procrastinators out there that are all just scrambling and wondering, how are we going to come out of this? How are we going to come out of the pandemic, the lockdown, and the recession that we're in right now? Is it going to turn into a depression? Events that we were all looking forward to were canceled because of this pandemic. Festivals, conferences, you name it. And we thought that, okay, in the summer, we'll be able to come out of this. But now you're seeing events canceled well past the summer. They just canceled Burning Man, which takes place in September. So already people are starting to envision more doom and more gloom and reasons why we can't get back to normal. And not just normal, why we can't do all of the great things that are possible out there. That's not the way to think. Yeah, I understand people taking precautions. I'm not talking about that. I am talking about how you project and what it is that you forecast will become true. Will become true. And I'll tell you right now, we can turn our dreams into the truth if we are diligent, if we plan, if we set the right goals, and if we're not scared, if we're brave and we're bold and we're courageous. And it's like, the reason I'm going on about this is because I saw an article earlier in the past week, and I talked about this article with my sales team because this article just blew my mind. It was an interview that was done with a leader of a very successful business. I'm not going to say the name of the business. I'm not going to say the name of the leader. Suffice to say, what they were going on about was that this year is finished. 2020, it's in the dustbin of history. Just forget about it. It's a loss. It's a loss. It's gone. It's done. And this leader was going on about how earnings are going to be horrible this year and how it's going to be a lot worse than we all think, and about how there's no point in coming up with some of the innovations that other competitors in this leader's industry, there's no point in these competitors following through because it's just a ridiculous idea. I couldn't believe what I was reading. I couldn't believe that this was actually coming out of the mouth of someone who's a leader of by the way, a major company. And I thought to myself, well, guess what? You're right. You're absolutely right. If you believe that your company is going to fail, if you believe that your company is doomed for 2020, if you believe that there is no hope for innovation out there this year, then you're right, because you're never going to find it. And your company, can you imagine being part of this leader's team? Can you imagine being a part of this company when that's the way your leader's talking? I mean, it's unbelievable. And it made me think about a powerful quote that has driven me for a very long time. And that's actually, I wrote a chapter about it in this book. This book right here. So a little bit of shameless self-promotion. This is a book that I wrote. It's called Competitive Persuasion. Competitive Persuasion, Why Deal Makers, Closers, and Negotiators Rule the World. I wrote this book in 2011. And this book is all about how to really set your mindset up for success, whether it's in sales or any part of any organization or life, period. All right, and this is mainly a sales book, but most of the book talks not about specific techniques for selling. I do that in some other books. But in this one, I talk mostly about the mindset that you need to have and how to set yourself up, not just to be tremendously successful in sales, but also how to become the top deal maker within your company, how to set yourself up strategically and mindset-wise in order to lead the pack. And within this book, I wrote a chapter which is so apropos for what I'm going on about right now. And after reading that article from this supposed leader, who's just going to lead everybody, down the spiral, right? Going to lead everybody to disaster. But it made me think of this quote. It's an old proverb, and the proverb is, "What you seek is seeking you." What you seek is seeking you. It's deep. That's a deep, deep line. All right, if you really think about that, the infinite loop that suggests, right? What you seek is actually seeking you. And I'm going to read just part of the chapter to you because it's so powerful, and I think it speaks a lot to how you should really be focused on this week and the rest of this year, because you can make great innovations happen. You can pivot and turn 2020 into a tremendous opportunity, a tremendous success. No matter what these supposed doomsayers are out there claiming about 2020 and where it's headed and where it's going to go, you make your own reality. You make your own destiny. You write it. You write it. So let me read this to you. So this is in the book. And by the way, you can get the book on Amazon. So again, more shameless self-promotion. Competitive Persuasion. Why Deal Makers, Closers, and Negotiators Rule the World. Okay, so I'm just reading a part of it. What you seek is seeking you. And it will find you. You will get what you want, whether you know you want it or not. If you do not consciously suggest a path will be decided for you. If you do not choose a vision of your future will choose you. Left unguided, devoid of a definitive mandate, you allow your subconscious to set the agenda. You allow your subconscious to set the agenda, ensuring that your conscious mind is hijacked and led astray by a Pandora's box of misunderstood obsessions, capricious urges, and arbitrary fixations. Putting your thoughts on cruise control allows ideas and instructions not born of your own free will to sway or veer you towards ends unknown, random destinations, or chaotic outcomes that you would not have predestined for yourself had you been on guard, had you been watching, had you taken control. Harness your mental prowess by looking for ways to give life to magnificent possibilities and extraordinary ambitions. Envisage a fantastic outcome. Imagine a captivating destination and let your mind flex. Let it conjure up a way to get there. You can control the narrative and the images that play out in your head. So go ahead and manipulate them. Create stimulating and thought-provoking reveries and substitute them for the bland or irritating subjects and irksome ruminations that often interrupt your thought patterns unexpectedly, randomly, and in a seemingly uncontrollable manner. Our mind is more than a mere flesh and blood abacus. And although it maintains its status as the most powerful processor, the most powerful computer in the world, for now at least, it transcends its mainframe. It transcends its mainframe-like construct, serving as a biological dream machine, an unrivaled instrument capable of bending reality to the will of its master. Still, no matter our cognitive preeminence, our mind cannot escape its calculating roots. And like any computer, the mind requires data, information, and programming. And if you do not program this machine, if you do not determine its prime directive, then the world will be more than happy to do it for you. This week, my friends, this week, my team, this week, my soldiers, go out there and take control of the narrative. You dictate the time and the place of your success. You personally lead the way to your own destiny. Have a great week, have a powerful week, and have a strong week.